Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today I am here to do another author ranking video. I've done several of these on several authors, and as always I'll have to keep doing new ones because I'll have to update them because they keep releasing books. I've done one on Emily Henry, on Abby Jimenez, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Frederick Bachman. The list is endless. I'll leave them down below. But today we're talking about an author that I wouldn't say is like top tier favorite for me, but I've read a lot of her books and I enjoy them. I always do read her new release and have a good time with them. And that author for me is Katherine Center. So I have read like 8 or 9 of her books. I haven't even read all of them. I haven't read like her first 4 backlist ones. So I'm going to talk about the 8 books I have read, rank them in order of my least favorite, working up to my favorite. And like I said, she's not like a top author for me. I'm not like she's like one of my most anticipated books. She's not one of my most anticipated authors when I get to that month, but I always enjoy her books. They're good palate cleansers. They're, I would say, more women's fiction than romance. Romance is definitely a big plot of the book, but it's more about a character development and usually a woman discovering things about herself, aka women's fiction. So I enjoy her books, so I do recommend them, and I do have clear favorites, and I do have some that I don't enjoy. She has written 12 books, and I have read 8 of them, so I've done pretty good on them. I haven't read her first 4 books that were published, and you can clearly see like where she had a big cover change, and I think that really helped her out as far as like selling them more and publishing them more because of cover changes, things like that. But either way, I'm going to start with the 8 books. So I'm going to tell you what books I liked the least, working up to my favorite. Coming in at number 8 is What You Wish For. So one thing I've noticed about, like I said, Katherine Center books, she had 3 cover changes, I will say. She had her first original covers that were kind of standard at the time, kind of like early Liane Moriarty and Kristen Hanna, and then she kind of changed to this format of book covers, which is when I discovered her. And then she's at her current phase of book covers, which are kind of like the animated style, bright colors and things like that, which I think has really helped her out as far as publishing and stuff like that goes. This is definitely my favorite of the covers. Like, I love anything with bright colors, animated, and flowers. Like, sign me the crap up. But I just wanted to note that as far as like her covers, I do find that very interesting as far as publishing goes, because I do think that makes a big difference in marketing and selling is the covers, and you kind of have to go with the times. And I think she has done really good with changing her covers throughout to match kind of what's happening and what's hot, I guess you could say, or popular, relevant in the publishing fields and things like that. So please forgive me on that tangent, but let's get into the actual rating. So coming in number 8 is What You Wish For. I could not tell you a single thing about this book. I don't even know when it was published. I did not enjoy it. It's about a character named Samantha, who's a school librarian, and then Duncan comes in, who's a new school principal, and I think they used to like be friends or something, and he acts like she has no clue who she is, and that is the whole of what I remember. I don't remember much about this. It wasn't really that memorable to me. This one came out in 2020, and I did read it the year that it released, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. Like, I had no clue, and I didn't connect with it. I just didn't really enjoy it, sad to say. So that's coming in number 8. Then we have kind of one of her newer ones, and that is coming in number 7, Hello Stranger. I just did not enjoy the plot of this one. This is about a character that gets into an accident, and from that she gets, there's a proper terminology, I've read another book about it, prosopagnosia, if I'm not mistaken. It's basically face blindness. So when somebody looks at you, like, you can register their face and recognize who they are. But when somebody that has face blindness, it's kind of like just a jumble of puzzles, like mismatched pieces. They don't know who you are. They can recognize your voice maybe, but face, they just can't recognize your face. And that is what this character is dealing with. She doesn't know if it's going to go away or if this is going to be a permanent part of her life. She's not quite sure. So in this whole book, she meets 2 guys, and after her accident, she maybe starts falling for them, and she doesn't really quite know which one to pick. But you can clearly see what the plot's going with it, honestly. I just didn't enjoy it overall. Wasn't a big fan of the romance. Wasn't a big fan of the whole plot. Plus, I believe she had this stepsister that was just a freaking, like, straight up from a Cinderella movie, if you will. Like, she was just horrible. But I didn't love this one. Next up, we have, I believe, the first book I read from her, and that is How to Walk Away. This one, I I don't remember a lot either. You could tell because a lot of these are from the library that I don't keep all of her books because they're not favorites. I would say I've maybe given one of her books a 5 out of 5, but the rest I would say fall anywhere from 3 to the 5-star range. Like if I could give you a rating on, I would give this one a straight up 2. Didn't enjoy it. This one a 2 as well. Just didn't really like them. This one I would probably give it a 3. It was okay. This is about a character I think that also has another accident. Margaret, who, yes, I think she gets into an accident and basically she's at the hospital. I think her fiance abandons her and she starts maybe getting feelings for her physical therapist and things like that. So I believe that's what's about. I don't know if she gets in a plane accident or 100%. I'm not sure. But I remember liking it, not loving it. And I wish I could tell you more. But I just can't remember. Sad to say. Then we have coming at number 5, this is definitely one of her earlier covers, and that is Happiness for Beginners. And this, I want to say, was either my 2nd or 3rd book I read by her, and I really enjoyed it, honestly. I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. I do know there's a Netflix adaptation of this that has Erin from The Office and also Kimmy Schmidt in it, and I have not watched the adaptation yet because I'm just not sure about it, but I went into this book hoping to love it because it kind of reminded me of the plot of Wild. It's about a woman that's getting a divorce and kind of is at a crossroads in her life. She doesn't have a lot looking forward to. She goes on this hiking trip with a whole bunch of people. It's like kind of a big thing, kind of rediscovering yourself, if you will. And she meets a guy there, fall in love. It was okay. I'd say if you love nature and hiking and all that, I'd check it out. It wasn't like up there as one of my favorites, but it was an enjoyable one. It's one that I don't hear barely anybody talk about when it comes to Katherine Center. When I'm getting into like my top 5, these are ones I hear about predominantly about Katherine Center, but I would recommend, if you enjoy her other books that I'm going to talk about, I would recommend checking out Happiness for Beginners, honestly. Coming in at number 4 is her brand new release, The Love Haters. This one I really enjoyed, and so this one follows a character named Katie, who is like a video production manager, and she gets a job to go to Florida, to Key West, to produce a promo for the U.S. Coast Guard, in particular rescue swimmers. And that sounds all great, everything's awesome. Only problem is Katie doesn't know how to swim, which I think is a big no-no in accepting this. But she's like, my job's on the line, I have to accept it. And so she goes to Key West and she meets the woman she's renting a house from there, and then she meets her nephew, who is actually the person that she is profiling for this whole promo, named Hutch. He is like this fantastic rescue swimmer, and it comes out that she doesn't know how to swim, and he teaches her, and kind of a romance thing happens. And I really enjoyed the romance between them a ton. In fact, I wish that was the predominant focus of the book, is their romance, because I enjoyed their chemistry. They were just very easygoing and had a good, light chemistry. But it's basically, the whole book is about Katie, and this was more about self-image. Katie was dating somebody famous beforehand, and she wore a certain dress to the premiere, and they just eviscerated her online, and ever since, it has really destroyed her self-worth and her self-image, which is totally 100% understandable. I can't even begin to imagine. But basically that's the whole center of the book, and the romance is just kind of a side plot, but I really enjoyed the romance in it. It was just a good time. Overall, if I can give this one a rating, I give it a 4. I liked it. I love the setting of Key West, honestly. It's just summery and fun, and I do love books that have really strong, predominantly good settings, where if it's like, you can tell it's a certain season, they go to places, it just feels overall summery, or overall fall or winter, you get the gist. But I did really enjoy this. It's not one of my favorites, but I really enjoyed it. Coming in at number 3 is her book that was released last year that a lot of people didn't like, but I enjoyed, and that was the Rom-Comers. Again, you can see her clear trajectory of the cover changes with these last 4 novels in particular, and I love them. I love a good illustrated version of a cover. So this book is about a character named Emma, who's a screenwriter, and she gets an opportunity to help this really big screenwriter, like her favorite screenwriter of all time. He's writing a romance novel, and the script is not good, and so basically they hole up and try to fix it. And Charlie is the guy, and he does not like romance, doesn't believe in romance, and she's like trying to convince him that romance is real, we're going to write a script, and it's kind of got great banter between them. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the romance. I would say this one is predominantly romance. It does have a side plot where her dad is not doing really well, and she's been the sole caretaker for him, and that is a big plot as well, which I enjoyed because I think it's a great opportunity for anybody to read a book with a character that is caretaking for their parents or for someone, because it is a very, very tough job. But I like this one. I just enjoyed it. I would give this one also a 4 out of 5. I think it's just a good, fun rom-com, if you will. The Rom-Comers. And then we have my top 2. I love these top 2. My first one is the first book that I fell in love with Katherine Center, and that is, coincidentally enough, one of her earlier kind of cover ones is Things You Save in the Fire. I don't know why I don't have my copy of this. I really don't, but I really enjoyed this one. So this is about a character named Cassie, who is a female firefighter, and I loved reading about that. I just thought that was so awesome. She works in Texas. She's got a good rapport with her co-workers, things like that. And then her mom, who she's been estranged through for years, tells her that she's sick, and basically Cassie decides to give up everything and move to Boston to help her mom. And so she moves there and gets a new job there as a firefighter, and it's very different there. They don't take a female firefighter seriously. Who would have thought it? Men, right? And basically she kind of has to start from the bottom up, and she just kind of has to prove herself. And she gets to know the rookie there as well, who was also starting at the bottom up, and they kind of maybe start a relationship. I love this book. I really, really did. I would give it a 5 out of 5. It was just a heartwarming love story. Also, it has a lot of relationship between a mother and daughter that's estranged that I really, really loved. And I would highly recommend it. If you have only read her newer stuff, I'd recommend reading this one for sure. Then, of course, at number 1 is my favorite, and probably a lot of people's favorite. When I hear about Katherine Center, I hear about this book in particular with good reason, and that is The Bodyguard. I love this one. This marks her first book in her cover change series, I guess you could say. This one came out in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this one came out in 2022, and like I said, this is the first of her illustrated series, which is why I think people predominantly, when they hear about Katherine Center, they think about this book. And it's just a fun time. It's a book that takes place in Texas, and it's about a character named Hannah, who is a security guard, if you will. Is she a security guard, or she's an executive protective agent, aka a bodyguard. That's it, a bodyguard, not a security guard. And she gets assigned to bodyguard Jack Stapleton, who's a big-time Hollywood star, because he's been having some stalkers lately. He doesn't really want to have a bodyguard, but they insist on it. And so she goes with him to Texas because he's going home for a while because his mother is sick. And so before they go, he's like, look, I don't want my family to worry any more than they have to because my mother's cancer is back. So I know you're my bodyguard, but could you pretend to be my girlfriend so I don't have to tell them that I'm here with a bodyguard? She doesn't want to make it any more, I guess, strange for his family than possible. So she's his bodyguard while also being his fake girlfriend. And it's hilarious. I love it because I love that she is the bodyguard. This woman can kill somebody at the ball pit. She can land a helicopter. She reminded me of Buffy. And I think that's why I loved her so much, that she was just a bad A, but also very feminine and cute and was scared of snakes and stuff like that. I love the romance in it. It was just adorable. A great summertime read, especially if you want a summertime book in Texas. I loved it. Would highly recommend it. So there you have all of the Katherine Center books I've read ranked. I would love to know your ranking. Are we agreeing with them? Are we not? I would love to hear, because I'm sure, like always, everyone has different opinions, and that is awesome. That's what makes the world go round. But I'd love to hear your rankings on them. As always, thank you so much for watching. And if you have an author video you want to see me do, please let me know, because I'm always looking for some. I always forget. I was like, Katherine Center, I haven't done her yet, but I've read 8 of her books. Makes no sense. Let me go ahead and do her. So I'd love to know what author video you want to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.